Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the MTG Arena Run. It's actually our first episode in the new open beta. I originally planned to do a highlight on Singleton, but unfortunately it's not really quite Singleton. Not when everyone is playing Mono Black Rat Colony. A few guys might have splashed a few extra creatures and spells here and there, but let's be honest, it's just a bunch of rats. And I wouldn't exactly make for exciting gameplay for us playing it or for to watch other people playing it, and I'm not in the mood to spend a bunch of wild cards on that. So let's spend our money in even worse ways. Behold, sealed. Now everyone is complaining about the cost. It's gems only, very expensive. Then again, if I figured if they cost this in gold, it would be like 10,000 gold. And the nice thing is we at least get six packs and all the contents inside. So it's actually more than what you get off a competitive draft. So that said, it's gonna be interesting, and I do want to get some Ravnica cards for the first time. So let's jump in. Let's see what it's like. So we get to open. It just opens everything at once, I think. Shows us our rares. We got some nice duels. Also, congratulations, we cracked the worst possible rare. We don't have legacy or modern, so this doesn't help. But we do have some. We are quite on color for Demir. Could we play all our? Let's see if we can play all our rares. So the trick to building a seal deck is look over your playables. So let's start by looking over blue. So this one's definitely playable. Guild Summit, check for guild gates later. Leapfrog, tree 1 for trees, okay. We will play Quasi Duplicate. We will play Capture Sphere, that's removal. Devious Cover Up. It's a counter spell, it's quite expensive. Technically this whole thing is just our sideboard. We'll come back to that later. Muse Drake, at least it draws us a card. Our blue is surprisingly very light, so we're hoping for black to cover for it. Otherwise, this might. But otherwise, we have a pretty solid blue base that I'm happy with. I might even just run this. There is enough Surveil that I could run. We do have a repeatable Surveil, additional Surveil. Darkblade Agent wants us to Surveil, but we'll have to check our black also. So definitely play the Locket. Oh, we actually have 2 copies of this. Mnemonic Betrayal. Exile all cards from opponent's graveyards. You may cast those cards this turn. Spend those mana. Interesting, but this might be a bit clunky. Notion Rain definitely. Oh, we got multiple copies of Notion Rain. Artful Takedown's good. Whisper Agent's good. We have a solid just on the blue alone, you have a solid Surveil base. Let's take a look at black. We're hoping for some removal. Price of Fame is definitely it. We will play Midnight Reaper. Okay, we will also play Plaguecrafter. Never happened. Might be a bit expensive. Bartizan Bats, also expensive. Crawl Swarm is repeatable, so I might consider that. We actually have Golgari Locket also, so we can actually splash for green. Golgari, essentially. So it's actually quite interesting. We might have an actual deck on there. We barely have any removal though. That's a sad part. So let's take a look at our green. Bunch of creatures. We could. Well, we're only gonna get a forest out of that. No, I bet the best way to do this is to play it safe. Just run Demir splashing Golgari. I will play definitely play the Lockets. Erstwhile Troopers, okay. I think we might have too many Lockets at this point. We will play the Pitiless Gorgons for sure. So we got 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We could use a few more playables. 20, okay. So Got a bunch of lockets. We do have a Dimir locket, right? Yeah, we have a Dimir locket. It just ended up there for some reason. Let's put it right where it belongs. So we're heavy in the tree drop slot. Actually, we could just do an 18 lands build. So let's do a count. Yeah, speaking of lands, no reason not to put these cards. Splashing a single forest. Okay, let's come back to this one. I guess I'll run the Narcomi, but it's still we do have enough surveil for that. So in the sum of all things, 24, 17, we're running 31. I probably should cut one. I'm going to cut one locket. I might cut a second. I might actually. What's the leapfrog here? Oh, I have another leapfrog. Let's cut another locket out. There you go. So 15 and 8. So we have our 23 and 17. And our top end is 5. And we have a bunch of 4s, but not too many. So this is probably okay. My sideboard will definitely be Devious Cover-Up and Never Happened in case there's something I really need to aim for. I could play the Veiled Shade. But I have a bunch of decent tree drops already at this point. Quasi-Duplicate's going to be interesting. Hopefully I could copy Watcher. I don't have any impressive creatures at this point. So I have to make do with what few tricks I have. I have to be very, very efficient with what I do. Siege Worm could be a shoo-in if I need something really big. Otherwise, Crawl Swarm is just going to be my repeatable hit. So all in all, that is my deck. I think that pretty much settles what it is. So our deck is essentially Dimir plus. It's mostly a surveil deck, so we're gonna have to take good advantage of it. It's very, very. It's not an autopilot deck. You really have to pay attention to what you're doing. That's one way to put it. So we're at the very and also the nice thing, we get 3 additional packs. So even if we don't get most of our gems back, at least we are getting something. 6 wins just to recoup our gem loss, but at least we're getting the packs worth. We'll see how far we go. As you can see, I've only just started playing the new iteration of the open beta. So I don't know how well we're going to do. I don't know who we're going to run into. So we got a turn 2 Night Veil Spectre, so that's definitely, we're gonna use this to search up lands. At least we have a 3 drop we can aim for. Definitely keeping that. I kind of miss Signets. I kind of miss Karoo lands from original Ravnica, but Guild Gates are not bad. And the lockets. Okay, I'm probably never gonna crack the Golgari locket, but I will definitely crack the Dimir locket at some point. So let's see if I can get this Midnight Reaper done before this dies. Opponent definitely has something. I can do Midnight Reaper into Plague Crafter. And it's going to be taking its time. Urban Utopia is really nice. It's like Burgeoning Growth, but we don't have any revolt strategies, so no need to sacrifice it, just give the card right then and there. So I'm going to use this to find our next card. This is not our next card, so this goes in the graveyard. It's a shame we didn't find any decent Undergrowth cards. This would have been a good way to fuel it. So as it is right now, whatever our opponent drops, I'm just going to drop Plague Crafter. Could sacrifice the Night Veil Spectre for it. It's definitely the weakest in the bunch. Quasi-duplicate Midnight. No, let's keep it simple. Let's leapfrog for now. Our opponent probably has a response. But you know what? Let's go for it. I'm discovering the set as much as everyone else. I haven't checked through all the creatures yet. So this is gonna be interesting. There could be a fog if I was saying there could be a fog effect. Might be a bit premature. Again, come on, give us a land. Yeah, I'm definitely keeping that, even though it's come into play tap. I need it. And besides, I still have turn 3 plays. So, opponent is trying to go for the really late. If he drops a big... Yeah, I might actually go play Crafter, sack the leapfrog. Okay. So, he's gonna search for some... and get anything. So, as much as it pains me not to get extra damage in, sack the lead for... I could sack the I could sack the sprite also, actually. Yeah, let's sack the sprite. Draw a card. Got our land. Then next turn we can capture sphere or even just quasi duplicate, sack the token. Then we can jumpstart it again. Okay, we found our interesting combo. So and that's it. I could have easily just used capture sphere, but I wanted to see this work. Oh wait, seal doesn't give you doesn't let you sideboard? Well, the 7 win requirement should have been the clue, but oh well, we're doing well so far. So I'm actually quite excited. Shame I didn't get Assassin's Trophy. That would have been a really nice rare. But the rares I got were all very playable, all very interesting, and I got two dual lands out of it. I can't complain, and I'm using both of them. So very late, I might have to playing Notion. This actually sucks a bit, but let's hope our opponent is not too aggressive. It's interesting that it lets us take the time to decide whether we're gonna... It allows us to take a look at the cards. We're not waiting on our opponent to look. I'm definitely keeping this. So basically not wasting time. Same thing. We're both looking at each other's cards. Now we're looking at what's probably going to be the most annoying creature here. I'm expecting our opponent to be at least Celestia, but Boros might be a problem if the next drop is a Mentor. Okay, no, it's not. But having this slow build is going to be a problem. I'm going to be taking quite a bunch of hits before I can even drop the Muse Drake. Notion Rain's not coming down. But our opponent is also stuck on mana, so that might be a thing. Okay. 14, 13, 12, 11. I could just cast the Notion Rain because I can do Muse Drake anyway. I'm actually just gonna drop the Locket now. Really slow, really poor. At least our opponent is... So next turn I can do Crawl Swarm. No, I'll just do the Muse Drake. It blocks all of these perfectly fine. Opponent finally got his tree drop down. No, you can draw cards. At least in sealed, there's no risk on the cards being that great. So I'm definitely gonna play the Muse Drake first. Okay, next turn we will be at 6 mana. So next turn I can do Notion Rain, Midnight Reaper. I'm just gonna let him draw cards out. Let's get rid of this one first, because this one can get rid of the next one later. Or it forces our opponent to use a burn spell. Ooh. That also... That's interesting. At least we try to get that out of the way. So opponent's now dropping creatures like there's no tomorrow. 6 mana. Capture Sphere, no. I need to drop a creature. Okay, let's drop this one. This one's gonna have first strike, so definitely gonna end up just... I can't even block the goblin. So alternate is I just take the 5 damage, swing ahead, see what happens from there. But if I take 5, I'm gonna be giving him cards again. So he's basically drawn 6 cards. Wow. So a fast format is possible, so our earlier keep was probably a really bad idea. Notion Rain, yeah, it would have hurt us in the long run. I might end up having to capture Sphere this guy because... Actually, I could just use Midnight Reaper to block this guy too, I guess. Opponent is trying to figure out what big play he's gonna do. It's actually quite easy. If you're... When in doubt, attack first, see how the opponent blocks. Oh, wow. So these all have first strike. And he gets to have another combat phase. So let's do the math. 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have to block with something. So our opponent had really good rares too. Then he gets to attack again. Yeah, this one's definitely a lost cause for me at this point. I can play the Pitiless Gorgon, then capture Sphere something. I pass the turn. Definitely gonna have to let our opponent draw cards again. Probably should not have let our opponent declare though. Yeah, that was a mistake. Well, we were so far behind anyway. Opponent had a really nice fast start. Healer's Hawk is probably going to be the big MVP of the set. And also note, usually we bash the 1/1 for 1 with flying because even the 1/2 with flying, well, that one was slightly better. Because otherwise it's a very low impact creature that barely does anything. Here, it does quite a bit of something, and it is something that it's a creature you do want to suit up if ever you have to do an aura strategy. And in this set where we have Convoke, it's basically it's a turn 1 mana rock. Well, more like a mana hawk, not an ROC. It's not big enough, but you get the idea. So I'm hoping to win at least a few more games with this one. At least I won the first game. That one's so turn 2 Narcomoeba, turn 3. Well, I already have the Narcomoeba in hand, so I might as well play it. Turn 3 Darkblade Agent, turn 4 Notion Rain. That seems to be my plan. Thing is, I'm hoping to draw a land. Okay, but here comes the other problem. If I don't draw another land, I might have to just play the Guildgate and skip the Narcomoeba. Not efficient, but kind of necessary. Urban Utopia is going to be a really good cycler. Okay, so we have our Narcomoeba option. We can play the Pitiless Gorgon later, so we'll just do that. So Narcomoeba into Darkblade Agent into Notion Rain, Golgari Guildgate. So that we have a plan. If our opponent wants to kill the Narcomoeba, perfectly fine. Much better than you hitting this one anyway. So turn 3 Darkblade Agent. Let's see what our opponent has for turn 4. Note that he has... Okay, Sprouting Renewal. That's, okay, so our opponent seems to be stuck. I have to surveil now. At least it lets our opponent decide if he wants to. Okay. I'm gonna ditch the Leapfrog. I kinda need more mana, but I could just hold on to the Pitiless Gorgon. I still didn't get the land I need. Oh, but I get to draw a card if this hits. So we got our land, so we're at 5. We can play Crawl Swarm, and we can actually start ditching some of these other cards. Really depends what our opponent does. Opponent's doing nothing. So I can just swing without the Surveil. So the Locket doesn't come into play tap, so I'm gonna just play the Locket. Play a Pitiless Gorgon. The next turn, if our opponent plays something big, price of Fame, swing with the team. Because it looks like our opponent's on the Golgari strategy. He doesn't have much of a go wide plan. He's probably just gonna drop big creatures one after the other. So I could do this into another Pitiless Gorgon. I'm gonna hold on to the Muse Drake, something I can discard to buy back again. So opponent is deep in the tank. I'm fine with that, actually. That said, I'm actually gonna just draw a card. Okay, Watery Grave. So combat, attack. So not drawing much into cards yet. Another Pitiless Gorgon. I might just play a land and just crack the Locket at this point. We're still waiting for opponent to drop. Because our opponent's just killing our creatures. I don't mind it, but I'm concerned the moment he actually does have a creature. So we got ourselves a Leapfrog. Again, I'm still not gonna cast. So we're just basically going to try to chip our opponent down as much as we can. Hold the Price of Fame. If not, we just crack the Locket. This opponent hasn't dropped a creature yet. He hasn't made all of his land drops either, so that's something. Okay. I'll make the trade. He probably has a pump spell. You know what? I'll let that resolve. Let's see if he... Okay, let's see if he has something else. Okay, nothing else, so let's crack that Locket. Got ourselves another Darkblade Agent. And we can surprise our opponent with the Whisper Agent also, but I'm still holding up the mana. Between Price of Fame and Whisper Agent, we have plenty of responses. Still waiting for opponent to actually drop something, though. Then all creature... You may put 2+1/+1 creatures. Okay, so there's no targeting here, so I lose all my guys. Yes. Definitely keeping that. I don't need the forest anymore. So he did have a sweeper. Now watch as the big creatures start coming in. Surveil 2, we're gonna ditch any lands. These are not lands, so I'm not gonna ditch any of these. In fact, Midnight Reaper comes up to the top. Pass the turn. Next turn we do Whisper Agent's just gonna be wasted, so I'm gonna hold on to that. This guy has risk factor also. I'll take the damage because he's low on cards. If he ditches us again, I'll just take the damage again. Because right now he's hurting on cards. I just need to... Okay. He ditched... Okay, this one I have to be careful of. If I play something big, he can just hit me again. So I need to think this through. I think the correct answer is to just let him have the cards. Then now we're gonna play the Whisper Agent because we know we are on a timer at this point. The Midnight Reaper might come back to bite us. I'm also concerned if he has another card like Finality, maybe playing all our cards is not a good idea. I'm just gonna play the Midnight Reaper first. So now he has to play enough creatures to block my board. Okay, he's regained some life that way. And that's... looks like that's it. Yeah, he doesn't have enough blockers. So we managed to bleed our way through this one. The red for the jumpstart cards, that one looked like the good idea. Though I think in terms of jumpstart cards, it probably worked a lot better in the previous deck. That one was way more aggressive. Our opponent's deck was much more controlling. He wanted us to get our creatures down. He had the board wipes. He had a lot of removal. So... 1, 2... Yeah, we'll keep this one because we can play Pitiless Gorgon into an Artful Takedown. Let's play the Guild Gauge card first. Now, turn 2... If we draw Black Source, No, he didn't draw Black Source. I don't like the idea of taking damage early for no reason, but if I have to, I will just play this one, take the 2 life. And now I regret it. So we're gonna have to start pinging in the air at least. Next turn, Artful Takedown, we can take something down. Opponent's probably gonna take one of our stuff down. At least we have Watcher to follow suit. Opponent is slowing down though, so... So this one's awfully suspicious, but to be fair, I am drawing lands. So it doesn't have haste. Let's resolve that one. Okay. So it just gains +2. Okay, first one's tap, right? Second one... Oh, this is annoying. Yeah, there you go. You have to remember the sequence. Okay, that's probably one thing they need to change. They have to tell you what exactly is happening. So you're gonna have to surveil... I don't like either of these options. I could just surveil these two because... Okay, Notion Rain, I'm gonna take hits. I don't need the Golgari Locket that much. So, let's ditch the Locket. Keep the Notion Rain. This gives Trample, so... That's a non-issue. Probably should just keep hitting, I guess. It's gonna be a 4-5 Vigilance that I sadly don't have the removal for just yet. I need to keep drawing into it. Maybe that's why I decided to keep the Notion Rain. Thank goodness there's nothing to mentor. No blocks. Actually, I probably shouldn't have... Well, I have the double black. Whisper Agent, no. Crawl Swarm... Kind of a yes. Let's ditch the Whisper Agent. So I'm gonna at least play the Leapfrog. Swing with the Gorgon. So next turn I can just next turn I can just ditch the Narcomoeba. Opponent didn't play anything on that after Aurelia. He's probably gonna play something now. Or he's probably got a handful of removal. That's gonna be the problematic part. Actually, there's no point in ditching it. I'm only gonna be saving 1 point. No blocks. Is he gonna... Is there a double strike effect? That might be a... Well, he has trample anyway. Oh! Wow. Well, that is one way to win the game. And it had trample, so it wouldn't have done anything about it. So, I didn't have much of... I didn't draw into the outs I needed. So, that kind of hurt. But, let's see. At least... Not too bad. At least we still got 2 wins. This... I will note that it is awfully a short... It's got actually quite short right now. Let's see. I don't... Maybe I won't pad it up too much today. Just see how far I go. Normally, if I were doing a draft video, I would have like about 10-15 minutes of draft to pad it. As it is, it was just sealed, so all the cards were laid out. Actually, the one thing I should have done is taken a look at what our red and white was. I know none of them were in our rare categories, but we might have gotten some good uncommons out of it. Anyway, we got some decent tree drops, so I'm gonna keep this one. So Watery Grave turn 1. We might not get our 2 drop. We actually have... So actually one of the achievements we want to do is surveil a Narcomoeba, but that's not that hasn't happened quite yet. And our opponent looks like he has a fast deck, so that might be a problem. I could play Leapfrog into Plaguecrafter. Definitely want to play the Plaguecrafter first. Let's just play the Leapfrog first. Our opponent gets a choice on which creature he wants to give up. If he actually swings with this one, I'll just block. Right now, I'm actually not so afraid of his creatures just yet. Kind of the same thing I said before as Aurelia landed last time. Well, at least this time I do have actual removal options. So, let's trade. Let's see what our opponent has for his turn. Ornery Goblin. Got the Muse Drake, so this one's not too bad. It will trade with Ornery Goblin, but at least I got my card out of it. Next turn, Darkblade Agent. Actually, if I can get another land, I'd play the Dimir Locket first. Our opponent is playing pure Naya. Well, he's already at Naya mana, so pump effect would wreck us. Removal wrecks us too, but at least he landed the removal there. I'm not too annoyed. Okay, Guild Gate. That's not the mana sink I'm looking for. I'll play the Dark Veil Agent, Blade Agent first. Definitely not gonna block. I'm just gonna... We're gonna try to recoup our cards at this point. We need to see how we do it. Definitely Notion Rain if we... Especially if we can draw into another land. We can Notion Rain into a captures. We can Dimir... Or we can Dimir Log. Just keep taking the damage for now. Let's see what big thing our opponent has that we need to respond with Capture Sphere. We definitely want to draw a land so that we can lock it into Sphere otherwise. Well, okay, I didn't do it, but I have the Sphere anyway. The bad news is Playcrafter is now really bad. So I'm... Hopefully I can get one of the crawl guys and just... Oh wait. I have Erstwhile Trooper, but no green mana. That's a bit sad. But I definitely have to lock this guy down. Is that actually more annoying than Boros Spitner now that I think of it? Need a removal and fast. Okay, let's give ourselves some choices at least. Definitely have the Notion Rain so that at least we can get the... Okay, man. That just buys it back to hand, so there's no point. Definitely ditch the land though. Look, another land. Sorcery speed. Yeah, this might be the end of us. We're taking... I'm gonna take 8 damage next turn. Hopefully the card we draw... Yeah, I kinda needed that. So play cap... We might have to just play the Playcrafter anyway just to block someone. Oh, it only hits creatures, so... Can't play the Crawl Swarm until I get rid of this guy. Okay. Ooh, that was a nice... That was an out of nowhere finisher. So that was a really fast episode today. Well, I can't complain too much. I got a lot of the rares I wanted. Let's claim our prize. Didn't get much back, but it's still quite decent. Actually, let's see if there's a way to look at the... Cause I skipped out on looking at the cards from Guilds of Ravnica. I opened a pack I think already, but no, I opened a few packs, but I didn't get much. So I skipped out on white and reds. Bunch of 10th District Guardians. So we're kind of looking at the uncommons. This is one uncommon. This is one uncommon I'd really like to get a 4 set of. Inspiring Unicorns, okay. Didn't seem to hit much. So okay, so let's go to red. I also skipped that one. So we got Goblin Banneret. That's another nice build around too. Maximize velocity is okay. The field is nice. Locksmith's interesting. Actually, not. I'm looking forward to building a Goblin deck now. If I can collect all the wild cards I need. Maniacal Rage is there. Direct Current. Ooh, we got plenty of copies of Direct Current. If we ever get Pauper again, I think I would build around this. Cosmotronic Wave. Ooh. Yeah, so we did get the we did get a bunch of stuff in the other colors, not so much. I also missed looking at green because that was our splash color. All I could say, I might have built the deck a little bit too fast. Got plenty copies of Urban Utopia. Again, remember, not all of those came from the sealed. I opened a few packs earlier. Probably a bit of mistake, but I wasn't exactly anticipating playing sealed yet. But it's a nice format if you don't want to think too hard. Just want to enjoy a little something. Thanks Wizards for giving us the special Planeswalkers. Mnemonic Betrayal. Yeah, this one's really a constructed card. I don't see my... Ral is Advisory. Oh yeah, they give you the different logo because this is more of a freebie. I have to question, why is it just Ral, Veraska, and... Well, Teferi makes sense because actually I think they gave us based on they want to give us the multicolored ones. So that was the choice. I opened Niv Mizzet Parun earlier, so that was not one of mine. Charnel Troll, I also opened that one. Yeah, this would have been nice. Might have made my deck more green than it is, but I think overall we made relatively the right choices. So yeah, discard changes. So that's it for this week. Let's see what other goodies we get. Dual Shocklands would be nice. Blood Operative is interesting if we do build a white-black deck. Another Overgrown Tomb, can't complain. And... Okay, so that's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. It's not a very long episode this time, but well, welcome back and welcome to Open Beta, everyone. If you like what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll really have to make a splash video at the end of this, so I don't have to keep repeating this. Anyway, but it is nice to be back. Nice to have people watching again. So thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time.